Coming up, how do you solve the age-old problem of children eating the right food? The Active Children Thrive program might be the answer. Ipswich CBD vaccination clinic doubles its capacity. Ipswich SES headquarters scores an $800,000 upgrade. And the Garage Sale Trail returns in November. It's Thursday, September 2, 2021, and I'm Alan Roebuck. Welcome to Ipswich Today, which acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which it is produced and pays respects to elders past, present and emerging. This podcast is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. Mission Australia is a well-known charity offering support for homelessness, disability, young people and employment. In Ipswich and Brisbane's western suburbs, a program called Active Children Thrive, or ACT, is hopefully making a positive impact on the diet of children under 12 and helping families understand why healthy, educational and interactive activities are great for kids. Jenny Chaves from Mission Australia joins me now to talk about ACT. Thank you for speaking with Ipswich Today, Jenny.
Thanks so much, Alan, for having me on.
The problem of kids eating a healthy diet is not new, but the new younger generation has a big tug of war between screen time and being outdoors. It doesn't make for a healthy lifestyle. How can the Active Healthy Lifestyle program help Ipswich families with young children?
Well, Alan, the program is actually a sort of integrated approach looking at not just eating and not just activity, but trying to combine both, but also things like developmental stuff. So we're looking at hearing screening as well, and also providing kits to the families who participate in the program. So we're actually running a series of healthy eating nutrition programs called Eat That. We're also running healthy activity, physical activity programs called Do That, and we're doing some hearing screening, and we've partnered with Sound Scouts, which a number of your listeners may know, who has the free app that works in schools across the country, and have been funded by the Australian government, and that's doing really early screening tests that anyone can do, but we're supporting families to do that with their children from 4 years up. So it's a really great opportunity to be able to layer this across the Ipswich region and for families with children from 0 to 12 years old.
I may have been hidden under a rock for a bit of time, but I find it fascinating you're including hearing for young kids. What's identified the need for that?
Well, the thing is that hearing, children, for those who are able to hear or have some hearing, really use that as part of their normal developmental communication skills. And in fact, that can impact on the way they learn. So what happens in schools or early education settings, if children have issues around some of these physical attributes around hearing or even vision, that can actually impact on them not being able to participate as actively in their classroom or listening to what people who are caring for them are saying. And sometimes that can lead to behavioural issues as well. And what we know, and it's estimated that about, 1 in 10 children suffer from hearing loss.
Wow. And
if that's left undetected, that can lead to speech and learning and behavioural problems, Alan.
Do you have any data from the Ipswich region about hearing?
I haven't got the specific data for Ipswich. I mean, I'm sure the health services might be able to do that. But Hearing Australia is a really great website. I mean, they're the major organisation funded through the Australian government as well. We've done this for us because we're working with children. Our work is around strengthening communities, and it's all around how do we engage earlier at the earliest point of intervention for children and their families so they have better later life outcomes. So it's really a preventative approach, I guess. And so as part of that, we've actually come across the reality that there's a real need to engage at these early points. And we've had some connection with Hearing Australia as well, and then worked with Sound Scouts. We've trained up our team to know how to use the app. And as part of our funding that we received from the Papaw Remedies people for this 1-year project, we were able to source headphones and some tablets, and so we've put the app on the tablets, and then we can actually layer that into some of our play groups, our parent groups, and our early intervention programs.
I'll come to Lucas Papaw Remedies and their generous donation in a minute, but let's talk about the other two strands of the Active Healthy Lifestyle program. We've banged on about this as a community for years. A good diet and regular exercise are really good habits. What are some of the elements of the program for diet and exercise?
Yeah, so the elements are a range of healthy eating activities. So we have a junior chef's program, which is really laid onto that much younger age group and also the primary age group. So we have employed an ACT project worker, and she is actually working with a number of play groups, parent groups and school groups as well. And we're actually doing some healthy eating recipes, so simple stuff that you can do at home that doesn't require a huge amount of money, but also doesn't require huge amounts of, at risk of going to the oven too much or chopping up too many things. But it's really encouraging children to identify what they understand as being healthy. And it's really interesting to see kids at a much younger age group starting to learn these things. And we've got the healthy eating chart done on a huge calico background and interactive games that we have as well. And the children are able to participate in that process. They're also going to create their own, we've got a whole range of resources that they can receive, and they're creating their own eating placemats, and they create that, draw that, they get that laminated during the session and they receive it. And their parents are part of the process, Alan, because the reality is if you've got littlies who are 4 years old or 3 years old, you really want the parents to be part of the process, because that's the person who's giving the children the food in the first place and educating them at home as well.
So this really extends it beyond the classroom. It's talked about in the classroom, but they actually get to do things at home with real food.
Yes, absolutely. So, and they get a healthy, so we've actually created another thing, which is our Start and Stay Healthy Life Kit. And that's really saying, let's start and let's try and stay healthy and keep going. And so that sort of stuff includes some tip sheets, the healthy food charts, some recipe books, and some information that's going to be really helpful for parents for other services that are around the state as well, like Parent Line, etc., putting those really key things, because while it's all around healthy eating, healthy activity, it's also about your well-being, and that's a combination of people needing to feel better about themselves and feel supported. So we're just adding those little extras in there as well for the families who participate.
How are you rolling out the program and getting to those who need help?
So what we're doing, because this is a one-off so far, time-limited project, and we received that one-off funding at this stage, we made the decision that we would do this as essentially a pilot, Alan, which covers a one-year process up to June 2022. And we're layering it on all our early intervention programs. So that includes programs which are Communities for Children, which focuses totally on children and their families from 0 to 12 across the region. And that includes a number of playgroups in our region. So we've got quite a number operating, and also community-based organisations who we partner with, community centres, for example. And we'll be layering the program onto those playgroups. We'll also be working with our hippie program, and I don't know if you know what hippie is. But
no, tell me.
Okay, because I knew you were going to go, hippie, that sounds a bit interesting. But hippie is actually the home interaction program for parents and youngsters. And believe it or not, there's 100 hippies around the country, Alan. So, and I always say that because it makes everyone laugh. There you go.
That's great.
But it's a program that's licensed, right? It's an international program. It's licensed by the Brotherhood of St. Lawrence, and Mission Australia runs the Ipswich Hippie program. And we actually deliver in-home program using our coordinator, and we have tutors who in fact are the parents themselves. We actually recruit and employ the parents themselves who've done the 2-year program.
Fantastic.
And our tutors go into the home, but they're not tutors in the sense of, an academic tutors. The tutors are actually supporting and working with the parents to become their children's first teacher to enable a positive transition into school. It's proven that it's really fantastic and it works so well. So you can imagine we run parent groups for this bunch of parents, and at any one time each year we have 60 families engaged with Hippie, and they're for children aged 4 years old and 5 years old. And our tutors go into the home individually, but we then also have weekly parent groups, and we're going to layer it onto those families as well. And then I guess the other services that we work with are within school communities as well, and we work along all our collective action groups in the Ipswich region, and we'll be looking at some of our schools that operate a range of activities and programs, and some of the community centres that we have partnerships with as well.
Jenny, you did mention just a couple of minutes ago about the generous donation that Mission Australia received from, of all places, Lucas's Papaw Remedies. I'm not sure of the connection there, but I'm sure their donation will be gratefully received by Mission Australia.
It is absolutely gratefully received. We're really fortunate that we were able to get that. Part of it is they're based, as you're probably aware, in Acacia Ridge, and we have our services stretch from, we cover the whole of Queensland, but in the services that I am a manager of cover right from Acacia Ridge right through to Ipswich. And so they're based there, and I guess it's an opportunity to be able to support a positive cause, and they had been really clear that that's what they were looking for as well. They have set up a foundation. They've been they're a fifth generation company, we found out, and they were explaining to us they've been around 110 years, which I didn't even know, Alan.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
And the beauty for me is I use Papaw ointment, believe it or not, every jolly day. So I said, this is fantastic, isn't it, that we're actually getting a donation which is going to support us. And look, it's a one-off donation, but hopefully we can show the impact and outcomes of what that donation has made, so that there could be continuity, whether from Lucas or others, because people seem very interested in this project, and we would love to expand it. So right now we're looking at this as a 1-year pilot, using that because it is time limited, and it is also financially limited in the sense that it's fantastic, but it is, we received $50,000, and that is fantastic, but that has now employed a very part-time worker and all the resourcing that we need to do. And we're going to reach over 500 individuals by doing it over this year, and we know that we can make that target.
That is fantastic, Jenny, and anything that can help kids to be active and healthy and cut down their screen time and get them a decent diet has to be applauded. So thank you so much for joining Ipswich today, Jenny Chaves.
Thank you so much, Alan.
And briefly in other local news, the Ipswich CBD Community Vaccination Clinic doubled its capacity for appointments from Thursday, September 2nd. If you're unvaccinated over the age of 16, you're encouraged to go online and register for an appointment at the Queensland Health Clinic or a participating GP or pharmacy. The Ipswich CBD Clinic is also accepting walk-in appointments from the priority groups in the final hours before closing each day. If you meet the criteria for priority but are unable to be accommodated on the day, you will be booked in for an appointment at the earliest opportunity. Go online to book vaccinebookings.health.qld.gov.au or look for a handy link in the show notes. An $811,000 upgrade to support the State Emergency Service volunteers has been completed, with the work supporting increased volunteer capacity and improved amenities during responses to natural disasters in the region. The upgrade, jointly funded with $686,000 from the Queensland Government's COVID Works for Queensland program, saw the construction of a new toilet and shower facilities, new air conditioning electrics, IT equipment, a new laundry, cleaning room and landscaped outdoor areas. Ipswich residents have joined with 400,000 Australians putting second-hand items first as Council joins forces with the Garage Sale Trail to offer events both in person and online in 2021. This year's edition of the nationwide event, to be held over 2 weekends in November, is expected to eclipse the 2020 Garage Sale Trail, which saw almost 28,000 kilograms of items reused locally and over 5,000 residents participate as either sellers, shoppers or online attendees. Don't forget, you'll find handy links in the show notes. Ipswich Today is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. This podcast is also listener-supported. Please make a once-only gift or regular donation to help keep it online. Just go to ipswichtoday.com.au and click the donate button on the homepage to make a payment through PayPal. Follow and stream this podcast from your favourite app, including iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcasts, or play Ipswich Today from smart speakers. Music is supplied by Purple Planet Music. This is Alan Roebuck. Thank you for listening.